Hey everyone, welcome to my Wednesday Ask Me Anything. Looking forward to chatting with you today. Want to let you know that I'm here to answer any questions you may have regarding topical authority, AI. Would love to talk about ChatGPT, prompting in particular, digital marketing, you name it. We're here to chat with you today and to answer your questions. So hopefully you can join us here live. If not, the replay will be available. And if you're watching the replay, I'd appreciate a comment down below just to let me know that you're catching the replay as well, or feel free to message me directly on the platform. If you're watching this, you know we're available on Facebook, we're available on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. We're running live everywhere, and we do this every Wednesday, with rare exception, at noon Eastern Standard Time. So want to welcome everybody today, and I want to make sure we can answer any of your questions. Again, regardless of what you're interested in, we'd love to hear that. I've got the chat open. So if you want to log on in and let me know what is on your mind, that's great. I do want to thank a couple of you for sending me some questions prior so that I can go over those and get things kicked off with that. And one of the first questions I got was, Jonathan, I'm just getting started in AI, just starting brand new to ChatGPT. Where do I start? And that's a great question. I get that frequently from people. And where do I get started with AI? We hear lots of news. We know there's lots of options, but where do I get started? Well, what I want to encourage you to do is to get started by just doing some simple prompts. And if you're an entrepreneur, you're in business, you've got a job, and you're probably doing email, I think email is one of the best spots to get started with AI. And the way I recommend you do that is go ahead and write a response or create an email that you need to write. And before you press send, copy that email and go over to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to do the following, and just enter this in as a prompt. And you're just going to go, please proofread my email and rewrite for improved readability and comprehension. Then go ahead and press shift return. You want to press shift return because if you press return, it's going to go ahead and kick that prompt off. Won't hurt anything. ChatGPT will just ask you to paste in your email. But if you press shift return, you can then paste your email right in there, that text, and it'll go ahead and rewrite that for you. And it's really amazing the quality and the improvements you can get. I just did this literally about 10 minutes ago for an email I was sending a client. Not that what I wrote was bad, but I just thought it was a little wordy and didn't really get to the point quickly. And so I asked ChatGPT to help, and it did wonders with that. So we'll go over some more prompting here today. If you have a specific prompt question, let me know, and we'll actually work to create that and work with you right here online to do that. If you've got questions about topical authority, I'd love to talk to you as well. Just a little bit about me. If you don't know, my name's Jonathan, and I'm with Whitebeard Strategies. I'm the founder. You'll have no idea where I got that name from, but anyway, no, just kidding. I love what I do because I get to work with business owners, professionals, and entrepreneurs, helping them claim their online expert status. If you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're a professional, maybe a chiropractor, a dentist, anything along those lines, and you want more people to come to you to do business with you instead of you having to reach out. Topical authority, oftentimes referred to as omnipresence as well. I think they're different. And I'll talk about that a little bit today if we have time. But topical authority is where you're creating and providing the necessary content. And that content is information on your website. It's going to be videos. It's going to be social media posts that people begin to know who you are. And as a result of that, they start coming to you when they need your services. So I personally have gone through this journey. Back in 2018, I committed that I was going to do daily videos. By the way, I failed. I didn't. I did the same in 2019 and 2020 and 2021. And while I certainly created videos for 4 years in a row, I failed to do that effectively. I failed to write the content, to do a good job. I made lots of excuses. And I'm sure that may be where you're at right now, making lots of excuses why I don't have time to write blog posts, why I don't have time to do videos. I don't have time to post multiple times to social media today. Sometimes it's, I just don't know what to say. Well, AI is a great tool to help us there. And we're going to walk through some of that today and share some of that with you. But I also want to encourage your questions related to that. Oh, and back to my story. On October 7th of last year, I finally committed really and told everyone I knew that I was going to do a couple things when it came to developing topical authority. By the way, this was before AI was really available to us. That came out at the end of last year. But I started posting a daily short video answering questions that my customers, my prospects, the people that I want to work with, questions they were asking about the services and the products that I sold. And what do you know? For the first probably 2, 3 months, it was great, right? No, it stunk. Why? Well, because nobody was watching. And if they were, they weren't telling me they were watching. And I had to be committed and stick to doing that. What was my schedule? Was easy. One video every day I was going to publish. Now it didn't mean I had to record every day, but I had to publish one every day because I could record in batches. Two, I had to do a minimum of 3 social media posts every single day. And that was critical and important, Monday through Friday, plus Saturday and Sunday. You may go, Jonathan, where do you come up with all this content? Well, here's the good news. By doing a daily video, I had one of those posts covered because I shared that video as a social media post. I also then went ahead and I answered questions that my audience had. And you may be asking, Jonathan, where in the world do you find out what questions my prospects are asking? Well, believe it or not, they're already online and they're already doing searches, and there are multiple ways that you can find out what questions they're asking. One of the best ways to find out is just go to Google and type in the topic that you want to be an expert in. So in my case, I typed in topical authority and omnipresence. And what happened is I was able to scroll down and I was able to see what things Google was telling me, according to their people also ask questions, what things I needed to be talking about. In fact, you know what? Why don't I go ahead and share my screen here a minute? I'm going to open up another browser and let me just make sure I get the right windows open here. We'll go ahead and get this set up, and I'll actually show you how to do this, how you can go online right now and you can find out what things your audience is searching for. All right, I've got a password I got to type in here a minute. Let's go ahead and get that done. And let's go ahead and start a new window here, and we'll get that one shared. And I'm going to go ahead and share that here right on my screen so we can take a look. Let's go ahead and start with Google first. There we go. So let's share my screen, press the right buttons. Here we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and share here. And that should pop up here in just a second as soon as I enable it. There we go. Let's go ahead and make that window a little bit easier for everybody to see. We'll make it a little wider here. Take a look. That should work a little bit better. All right, so let me get rid of the bottom here. We don't need to see everything. Let's go ahead and get rid of my, there we go. Nothing like navigating live. If you've ever done that, it certainly can keep things interesting. We'll get rid of that lower thirds. Oh, there's my prompt. That's the wrong lower thirds. Let's try this again. Where is that coming from? So by the way, if you don't know, I use Restream and I really do enjoy it. It works really well, but once in a while I get confused as to what I have turned on and turned off. And so I have to find the right buttons. There you're seeing a couple things pop up. If we can't figure this out quickly here, we'll just go ahead and move on. But this is part of the fun. You get to see how things work live as we're going on and going about these. Let me just see here. Is any of those are live? These are not. So I'm literally in the background while you're listening here. I'm scrolling through my things on Restream to see if I've got anything showing up. And for whatever reason, there we go. I found it. Got to click the right button. All right. So let's go over to Google now and let's take a look here and show you how this works. So I'm going to go ahead and just type this in. Let's say we're going to do this for, let's pick a roofer. So let's put roofing company in, and I happen to be up in Michigan right now. So let's just do Grand Rapids. Let's do roofing company, Grand Rapids, Michigan. So not a big surprise. You're going to see some things here that you'd expect. We're going to have, we'll zoom in just a little bit so you can see everything a little bit clearer. Let's take a look at that and make sure that actually is looking good. That should be readable. And I'm going to go ahead and take a look. So we begin with our ads. No problem. We're not talking about ads right now. We're talking about organic, not paying for this. So let's scroll down. We go all the way to the map pack here. And these are going to be where we first start seeing non-ads. Notice they have, by the way, added sponsored ads into the map pack. So it's something you may be aware of. And it's searching in Grand Rapids here. You can see all of the little pins pop up. But I want to go down even a little bit further here because what I want to look for is this section right here. It says people also ask. Why do we want to look here? Well, this is going to tell us what questions we need to answer if we're a roofing company in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're looking to rank well there. What questions do we need to answer in order for Google to see us as that expert? And the really cool thing about that is it gives us 4 questions right there. So, who owns best roofing company? Who is the largest roofing company? Who's the world's largest roofing company? And who is the largest roofing manufacturers? And you may be going, Jonathan, I'm a roofing company. Why do I want to do all that? Well, by answering these questions and more, because each of these, by the way, will also have their own series of questions, then we have the opportunity to be seen by not only our audience, but as Google as an expert because of the fact that we're answering the questions that our clients or our prospects are answering. Another great site I use for this is called answerthepublic.com. We're going to show you this real quick, and this is great. So again, we want to look up roofing company, Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're going to pick United States and English search. We can do 3 daily searches here without having to be a subscriber. So I highly recommend this. This is a great tool. And if you use it a lot, it may be worth upgrading to Pro. My friend Neil Patel owns this company. Fantastic, great service. So this is going to do some thinking here a minute. There we go. And this is really cool. So it comes up with this wonderful graphic and is going to give us an opportunity. Notice there's 76 questions here that we can go around. And these are questions that are being asked by the people that we're looking to reach. And they're going to give us obviously interesting information here that we can take a look at. So each one of these is questions that we could ask. So roofing company, Grand Rapids, Michigan. No big surprise there. Roofing companies, Grand Rapids, Michigan spelled out. Let's go ahead and we can go down to roofing company, roofing company, roofing companies. Lots of similarities here. Here we go. Here's some more questions. So how do I know if a roofing company is legit? That'd be a great video, great blog post. Roofing companies in Grand Rapids, another great one. Imagine doing a directory of all the roofing companies and obviously maybe highlighting your roofing company as well. Maybe going, Jonathan, why in the world would I want to highlight my competitors? You don't have to highlight them, but if you had a blog post talking about all the roofing companies out there, maybe even pick the top 3 and said, hey, here are the top 3 roofing companies. Now, this may sound a little weird, but I'd even recommend you consider writing one that you didn't include yourself in. Why? Well, if you're going to publish this on your blog, on your website, people are already on your website. Do you think it would add credibility to what you're doing if when they logged in, they saw that you wrote a blog post and you could talk about, hey, if you don't want to use ABC Roofing, assuming that's your company name, here are 3 other trustworthy roofing companies in the Grand Rapids area that I recommend. Do you think they'd consider you legit for doing that? That would build your credibility in a massive way. By the way, you may also be able to talk those competitors potentially into doing the same and naming you, which can help and be reciprocal. But anyway, we can go around and we'll see there's all kinds of questions here about Grand Rapids roofing companies and things related to that. And we can answer those questions. And there's even more data as we scroll down here. So now we're going to talk about highly searched ones, other things related to that. Again, I can go down here and you'll see it just continues to give me information. All of these are things that are relevant to you and to your business if you're a roofing contractor. So again, some great ways that you can go ahead and you can just quickly go ahead and find out what questions your audience is asking, what things they're looking for, and you can type in any topic that you want there. I want to encourage you, though, to be broad when you start off with. In other words, we were a little specific by saying roofing company Grand Rapids. I'd probably start by just looking for roofing contractors or roofing companies and seeing what questions prospects from around the nation are typing in when they're looking for a roofing company. Maybe you're a dentist, you can type in family dentistry or local dentist or things like that. And it would give you, again, things that you could do. So that's part of it. Then you go, Jonathan, I've got my topics. Now I've got 47 topics here as an example. How in the world what do I do next? Well, the good news is that's the easy part. What we recommend you do is you start by going to a tool like ChatGPT. I'm a huge fan of AI. It helps expedite process and make things go faster. So I want you to go to ChatGPT and I want you to say, I want to write a blog post. In fact, I want to write the best blog post about being a roofing company in Grand Rapids. And start by creating an outline of this blog post. In fact, let's go back and let's do this here real quick. So let's go ahead and go back to our window. Let me share that again. And let's go into ChatGPT. In fact, you know what I'm going to do is show you something interesting here in a minute. Let's go to Claude. So you guys have probably all heard of ChatGPT, and it's great, and I love it, and I'm actually a subscriber. But let's take a look at Claude here a minute. Claude is a competitor, and it's another option that's available to you to use. So here we go, Claude.com, log in here. Give it just a minute here. See if it'll let me log in. It should here. I'm just going to use my Google to make it simple. There we go. All right, and I'm logged in. So let's start a new chat. And we're going to write down here. We're just going to type this in the window. So let's see what happens. So let's see. I am the owner of ABC Roofing in Grand Rapids. I want to write a comprehensive blog post on how, let's see, we'll put this in quotes, how to ensure the roofing company I choose is legit. You may remember, and people also ask, that's one of the things we saw is, how do I know the roofing company is legit? So I'm going to say that's the title I want. Please create, well, let's tell it where we're located first. Oh, we did it. I'm in Grand Rapids. Let me add Michigan here. A little bit more context will be good for everybody. There we go. So I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And then let's add into this, let's go ahead and say, let's start with an outline. By the way, everybody thinks with ChatGPT and AI, this is the easy button. We're just going to press it and it's going to write my whole blog post. You can do that, but you're going to get a rotten blog post. I'm going to show you how to write an amazing blog post here. And let me show you. So we begin by coming up with, in this case, an outline. So please write an outline for this blog post and then say, my audience is homeowners in and around West Michigan. All right, let's see what happens. We're going to let it think again. You could use Bard for this. You could use ChatGPT. I'll zoom in here a little bit so we can see this a little bit better. And without giving it any more information, you guys can see that at my prompt. I'll just read it out again while it's thinking. I'm the owner of ABC Roofing in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I want to write a comprehensive blog post on how to ensure the roofing company I choose is legit. Please write an outline for this blog post. My audience is homeowners in and around West Michigan. So a couple things I did here that are important. If you're not a roofer and you're wondering, how do I replicate this? It's really simple. First, by telling it who you are. Tell them the name of your company. Tell them where you're located. Tell them what the title of the blog post is that you want to write here. In this case, it's going to be answering one of those questions from people also ask. And then say, I want to write an outline, and don't forget to tell it who your target audience is. And that's important because it's AI is smart enough, it's going to then fit into that. And so here we are, we've got this nice outline, a hook, a thesis, body. We can go ahead and go over all this. I'm not a roofer, so I'm not going to say this is perfect, but looks like this would be a pretty good start. So now what I want to do is I want to have it actually begin writing this blog post. Again, we're creating content to answer the questions that we've been asked and that we've been told that we need to ask by Google. So that's what we're focused on here. All right, so let's go ahead and go back over to ChatGPT here. Oh, I apologize, guys. I wasn't sharing that window. I've been talking and not sharing it. There we go. Now we've got that shared up there. You guys should be able to see that better. My apologies. And let's go ahead now and let's ask it to start writing. So we're not going to ask it to write the whole blog post because we're not going to get what we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to have it start with the introduction. So please write a compelling and captivating blog post. Let's come on an introduction to this blog post. And we'll have it include both the hook and thesis, it said, and include the hook and thesis. All right, let's see what it does. So we're going to let it think here a minute. It's going to go ahead and write. It's going to create all this and take just a second here. Because we're live, I can't speed this up, so we'll just wait just a moment. And it's going to tell us, so here's a compelling introduction for the blog post. It happened on a rainy Tuesday night. Patricia was finishing up dinner when she heard the ominous creaking from above, followed by an unmistakable sound of water dripping. Rushing upstairs, she cries out in dismay as a sight of a large water stain on the living room ceiling. And unfortunately, we go on from there. And then she talks about how the blog talks about how that's so common. So next, I want to write about this thesis. I don't think it did that here. So let's go ahead and take a look. It really didn't. Oh, it does. It said we're going to provide tips. So it did. It took care of that for me. Good. So now I want to write the body. And I'm going to just copy and paste this from the outline. I'm going to write down and say, now let's start writing the blog post. Begin with this section. And I'm just going to paste in what it's given us. And we're going to let it go ahead and write. Now, you may be going, Jonathan, how am I going to put all this together? Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm simply going to go and I'm going to create a new Google Doc. You could do whatever you wanted to here. It doesn't matter. We could use Word or anything else. But I'm going to go ahead and throw this in a Google Doc, and I'm going to start copying this in. So we don't need really my background. Let's grab right here. We'll just copy and paste this. Actually, even make it easier. Just click copy. Go over, and I'm going to paste this in. Now, notice when I do that, sometimes you get an intro like this, like an instruction says, here's a compelling introduction. We want to delete that little part. Not a problem, though. So, and again, this was going to be, how do I ensure the roofing company I select is legit? So we know what we're writing. Let's go back over to Claude here. Take a look. All right, it's continuing. And we're done. Let's click copy again. So again, now we've just got that first section on research company history. So we're just going to go down here. If I click in the right window, there we go. And we're going to paste that in. Again, just go back and get rid of this. And I like to format as I go along. It keeps it easy. I know this is my header. So I'm just going to go up and make that an H2. That way I can see real quick as we go through. All right, I'm not reading it yet, but I'm going to want to read it before we publish. But let's go ahead and keep moving down, and let's keep writing this blog post real quick. It won't take us too long, and I think it'll be worth doing. So let's going to go take this next section. And the great news is now that it's doing, I can just say, now write the next section, if I could spell, of this post. And we're going to let it think and come back. So let me go check here. Go back and see, we got a few people live here. If there's any questions about this process you'd like to know, don't hesitate to put that over in the chat so I can see that, or if you want us to show something else. But we're going to keep walking through this because I'm going to show you how you can write a comprehensive blog post to answer one of these questions and build your authority. So again, what typically took forever to do, now we've got the opportunity to do much, much faster and much, much easier. So let's go ahead and copy this. In fact, to save time while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and grab the next section, let it write while we copy and paste. So we did that. Let's go beware of red flags. And we'll just say, now write this section. And I'm going to go up and copy this text we just had, go over to our Google Doc, paste that in. And again, delete the little line about here's the section on the insurance. I'm going to go ahead and add my H2 in right here. Just this will make it a lot easier when I'm going back through later. You'll notice, by the way, that as I'm in here, I'm getting some little red underlines and things like that. I use another tool, another AI tool, candidly called Grammarly. And it's going through, and as I paste stuff in, it's checking my grammar and making sure that things are right. And it's going to make suggestions on how we do things. So let's go ahead. Oh, that's already done. Hey, that works good when we do it that way. So let's try it that way again. We'll let it write while we're copying and pasting. So we did the beware red flags. Now we're talking on interview potential companies. Don't have to scroll back to the bottom. I can just click in here. Now this section. And let me go ahead and grab this before it runs away. There we go. Let's copy that. Go back to our document. I'm going to go here. Let's press return. And beware red flags. So again, just got to remove this little text. Not a big deal. Let me ask you, is this easier than writing one from scratch? Man, it's a ton easier than writing from scratch. I love this. All All right, we'll take a look, and we are going to go through everything and make sure it looks good, because what I don't recommend you do is I don't want you to just copy and paste, because sometimes AI will do what it calls hallucinate. And you'll see ChatGPT will even tell you about that sometimes. It'll say, I don't have direct internet access, which it doesn't. And so it'll hallucinate. So I want to do the next section. And just paste that in. And now I'm going to go copy this, and we'll go put that back into where we were. So again, as I was saying, don't ever just put it in ChatGPT or Claude or Bard, any of those for that matter, and just trust it, because sometimes it makes stuff up. And the last thing you want to do as a business owner is put things out there representing your business that are totally made up. And trust me, ChatGPT can do that sometimes. So you're going to want to go through and make sure you've checked all that. Let's go back into Claude. We'll grab our next section we need. Let's see here. If we scroll up to the top, there we go. Conclusion. So we're getting there. Oh, actually, I think check for warranties. Let's check. Nope, we did the warranties. That's one we just wrote. So I need conclusion. Let's go grab the conclusion. Go to the bottom. I guess I didn't do that. I can just put it here. And the final section. And I'll copy this information. This was on our warranties. Go back to our document. A little bit of repeating here, but again, I want to show you how to do this. Again, I could write one prompt to do this, but I would end up with a much, much less robust blog post. It would be much less information, and that's not going to help you, because then Google's going to look at that and go, that's a rotten blog post, and it's not going to give you any credibility there whatsoever. Let's go back to Claude, and hey, we're done with that conclusion already. Before I do any further, I'm now going to have it say, please review the entire post article. We'll call it an article. It's fine. Article or post. Combine and write me a key takeaway section. So the key takeaway is something we're actually going to put at the beginning of the blog, but I can't write it until the blog post is done, because it's not going to know what the key takeaways are from the article. So I need to write the whole article first. We've done that here. We're now almost done. And now I'm going to write that key takeaway section. Let me go ahead and again format this. We're getting really close here, guys. You can see we've been doing this for about 10 minutes or so. And look at that. There's my key takeaways. That's fantastic. I'm going to copy that. Also, now I'm going to ask it my last prompt, which is please now write an FAQ section with at least 5 questions and answers from this article. So really important that you say from this article, otherwise it might go and pick other roofing stuff. So we want it to be from this article. But I'm going to take these key takeaways. I'm going to go back to my document. I'm going to go way up to the top here, and I want to put it right after the introduction. We're going to paste that in. Get rid of our extra line that they give us. Make this an H2 so I know where I'm at. And now I've got this wonderful key takeaway section. And notice Grammarly is going through and say, hey, you should have had a hyphen there. 3 should actually be spelled out. You should have a comma. Don't need a comma after diligence. You don't have to use Grammarly, but it's great. And again, easy to do this. So I'm just adding stuff in. Let's go down to the bottom, because we're going to put the FAQs right before the conclusion. And look at that. Here's our FAQ section. So let's copy that over. Let's go back up. We're going to put that again right before the conclusion. Paste that on in there. Oops, I didn't want those all to be H2s. Let's try it here. There we go. That looks a bit better. And now let's go ahead and format this. Again, get rid of that. Go ahead and make this H2. And I'm going to be really close. I've got a few extra spaces in there I could always clean up, but we're getting close here. And we've now spent about 12 minutes writing this blog post. And let's see what we've ended up with. So if you've ever written a blog post, you know, you probably in the past, we always talk, you want 300 to 500 words as a minimum. Let's see how we're doing. By the way, that number's going up, so I don't think that's good anymore. Really think you want to be over 1,000. And looky here, 1,570 words. That's fantastic. That means this is an article that's long enough to talk about this topic in depth, and it's one that we can now copy and paste into our blog. I'll go ahead and save this. I'll share a link to it if you guys want after the video. You guys can take a look at this and read it, and you can let me know what you think. I won't take the time to go through it here, but this looks, again, quick scanning, this looks like this is going to be pretty darn good. And again, you can go ahead and decide for yourself. I would love it, by the way, if you own a roofing company or know anybody that owns a roofing company, let me know about this and take a look at this when I share it. Let me know if you like this. Is this any good? Does it really help or not? I would love to get some feedback from you on that. So again, today we've talked about going out to Google, and we've talked about going out to people also, or not using Google's people also ask, but then answerthepublic.com and getting some of the common questions that are created. So we started with that, and we started by creating a blog post. And I want you to create a blog post for each of those questions. I then want you to create a video, and I'm going to show you that next. And then I want you to create social media posts. And you go, Jonathan, that's just a lot of content. Yeah, it is. But imagine if you could take the time to do one of these a day and post on your website. Maybe you only do it 5 days a week or even 3 days a week. I'd love to do it more, but let's go ahead and show you, because let me tell you why this is so important. As I mentioned, I started doing this on October 7th of last year, 2023, or 2022, I'm sorry. And fast forward the first few months, it didn't seem like anybody was paying attention. Then about March, April, I ended up on the phone talking to a prospect that I'd never met before, that I'd never talked to before, was actually set by an appointment setter at my company. And they started the conversation with, Jonathan, I feel like I know who you are because you've been showing up in my video. You've been showing up on my social media. I like you, and I want to know how to work with you. Now imagine I'm in sales. What's better for me to talk to a prospect who's interested, but I have to sell and convince to work with me, or someone on the other side of it who comes in and says, I want to work with you. And they were trying to figure out now how to work with me. Much, much better. And since then, I got to be honest with you, things have just exploded. In the last 3.5 approximate months, I've had over 50 speaking engagements that I've been invited to. I haven't completed them all yet. In person, live events, webinars, podcasts, all kinds of things like that that I'm invited to speak to other people's audiences. Now, let me ask you, as an entrepreneur and a business owner, wouldn't you love it if you got invited to speak to other people's audiences that could also be your audience? It's a great way to build credibility, because guess how every one of those are going to introduce you. If you're asked to speak, you're asked to be on a webinar, asked to be on a podcast, asked to be on a panel discussion, maybe even speak live like I'm doing on occasion, you're going to be introduced as the expert. And that means that that entire audience is going to see you as an expert. And I got all this done, by the way, not by doing cold calling and reaching out. I asked for 3 of those 50 plus interviews. The rest of them came to me just because they found my content. All right, so let's go back and let's talk about how do we create that next level of content. And that's going to be the video. So let's go back to video here. And I'm going to go back to Claude. By the way, just to make sure Claude understands, I'm going to copy this entire article. And now I'm going to go down here and let's try a new prompt. So now I'd like to write a video script about this article that I can use on YouTube, social media, and embed with this post to help improve my SEO. My name is Jonathan. I'll tell you, we wanted to know that on purpose. If you don't spell quite right, don't worry about it, especially caps. Let me think here. What do I want to say? Oh, I want to tell it what personality I am. I'm an ENFP on Myers-Briggs. You may go, what in the world is that? That's a personality style. And the neat thing is I can just let ChatGPT, Claude, whatever. I know we're using Claude today, but ChatGPT works the same. So does Bard. But no, I'm an ENFP, and it will now know my perspective, my personality, and how to write from that. So please write from the perspective of an ENFP. Let's see what else I want to do here. I want to embed. I want a blog post improve. My name is Jonathan. My audience is In this case, I'm looking for homeowners because we're talking about roofing, so it's not about me now. Homeowners in West Michigan. And please write me a voice only video script. Let's see what it does. So the reason I want to do voice only, oops, I forgot to give it the article, but let's see. It's still probably, yep, it remembered, so it's good. So notice it says here's a voiceover video script to pair with the blog post written from a perspective of an ENFP. And here we go. I'm just going to read this a minute as it comes up, and let's see how it did. Hey everyone, Jonathan here. Choosing the right roofer for your home can feel overwhelming with all the options out there, but have no fear. In this video, I'll walk you through the key steps that my fellow West Michigan homeowners need to take in order to find legit, trustworthy roofing company. First up, research. Look into their history, reputation, reviews, and references to get the full story. Are they an established business or a fly-by-night operation? Do past customers have good things to say? The proof's in the details here. Next, you need to confirm their licensing and insurance. Your roofer needs to be licensed locally and insured properly. Don't take risks here. Ask to see the official paperwork. Next, stay alert for any red flags too, like unusually low estimates or vague details. Trust your gut if something seems off. Go with roofers who instill confidence in their expertise. Now, when interviewing potential companies for roofing, get written estimates and ask lots of questions. Take great notes. You want to feel sure that they understand your needs and will stand behind their work. And don't forget, get warranties. Legit roofers offer strong workmanship and manufacturer warranties. This protects your investment in the long run. Doing your homework takes some time up front, but it means you can relax knowing you chose the right roofer. Your home deserves nothing less. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. That's pretty good, guys. I didn't even have to really add anything to it. That was great. By the way, you can take that script, use a teleprompter like Big View or similar on your phone, and you can literally just hold your phone up and record that. You don't need to be special equipment, all that. Just grab your phone and press record. That would be easy. Now we'd add that into, again, the video. We'd put that on YouTube. We'd put it on our blog. We've got great. That's fantastic. I love it. And again, total time now, we're not even probably to much over 20 minutes yet, and I've been talking to you along the way. So let's now go ahead and say, finally, please write me 3 engaging social media posts highlighting a tip from the article and include a link back to the, it won't have the link because we haven't published this. So link back to the article. Notice I've misspelled. I'm not going to fix it. I'm going to show you how it still will figure everything out. So highlighting, and let's just say, please use only a few emojis. Sometimes ChatGPT and stuff like to use a lot. Also provide a title for each social post that, let's see, we want to get curiosity. So that creates curiosity on the part of the reader. And we'll fix curiosity, but the rest of it we won't. There we go. Let's see what happens. So again, we've asked it to create articles now based upon, and once again, I'm not sharing my screen, guys. I am so sorry. Oh, the joy's alive. There we go. So I'm sharing my screen again. Keep forgetting to press that extra button. Finally, please write me 3 engage. It's going to create posts here for us. And the first one is your roofer who they say they are? When researching roofers, dig into their history, call references. Longtime businesses and happy customers are safer bets. Guys, that's a great post. And by the way, if we add into that a link back to your video or to your social or to the blog post, that's going to drive people back to read that. 3 questions you must ask before hiring a roofer. That creates curiosity. What are those? And 1 document you need from any roofer. What document's that? And it's warranties. These are great. So guys, we have spent about 20 minutes now, and we have not only done the research, probably 25 with the research, but we've also went ahead and we've created a great blog post. We've created a video script, and we've created 3 social media posts that we can do that. Now, my recommendation to you is going to be very simply that you go ahead and you write every month. I want you to do this 15 times. So Takes a little time. Yeah, it does. Definitely gonna take just a little bit of time. But here's the good news. You can get help. Your team can help you do this. If you've got a VA, they can help you do this. Notice the prompts and everything I use, they were very predictable. So there was a lot and easy to do. So just had a question pop up. Thanks, Todd, for that one, Todd. What is hallucinate in AI? So um, when ChatGPT and Claude and Bard first came out, Bard did have access, but when they first came out, they didn't have any internet access. Claude still doesn't have internet access. And sometimes they just make stuff up. Todd, I know you well enough. You've got kids as well. And sometimes, kids, they just make things up. It sounds right, but it ain't. Well, that's the same type of thing that can happen here. Claude and ChatGPT and that, they can make things up. So how do you find out? Well, here's what I do. I'm going to go ahead and this time I'll remember to share. I'm going to go back over to my window here a minute. Make sure I press all the right buttons this time to share my screen. So I'm going to share my window. And now I'm going to make sure I actually turn that on so you can see it. There we go. Now I'll go over. I'm juggling windows here. So there's another tool that you may or may not have heard of, and it's one of my favorites. It's called perplexity.ai. And this is an AI-based search engine. So if you get a statistic, this is where we want to use it. So let me go ahead and let's just ask Claude. Let's say, please, we'll see if we can get it to hallucinate here. Provide me with 3 statistics about roofing companies. And let's see. I don't know if these will be true or not. They may be. Keep in mind, all these models are continually being updated. In fact, most recent, many of them are now grabbing data into 2023. And again, if you have internet access, but so let's grab this one. So this top one, we'll just say this. 75% of homeowners say they primarily use online reviews to evaluate roofing contractors. So let's go ahead. I'm going to copy and paste that. I'm going to go over to Perplexity. And I'm just going to say, is this true? And I'm going to paste it in. Now, what Perplexity is going to do is it's actually going to go scour the internet and see if it can find this is true. So it says the claim that 75% of homeowners use online reviews to evaluate roofing contractors, according to a 2020 report by the Builder Insight, could not be verified. Probably BS then, guys. That's probably a hallucination. The search provides results provide information on the importance of online reviews, roofing contractors, and tips, and how to get more reviews, but does not specifically mention the 75% statistic. So there's an example. And it's also, if you get statistics like that, notice I hadn't asked for any, so we didn't. This is a great way to check them. Let's check the others real quick while we're here, because I want to show you what we can do if we find out that one of these is true and how we can add credibility to our blog post. So is this true? So this one's on average, the AI is saying roofing companies have been in business for 8 to 10 years, according to market research. And it says on average, roofing companies have been in business according to, however, it's important to know that newer companies carry more risk. So that does appear to be true. That's one we could do. Now, here's what's cool about that. We could then go ahead and pick one of these sources. So here's the sources that it used to do that. Let's say it was in roofing contractor. Don't know that's it. And that may or may not be the right one, but let's just say it was. I can go ahead and copy that link, or top 7 reasons fail. We'll grab this one, Job Nimbus. So I'm going to just copy that link. I could now take that statistic. Let's go to my Google Doc. And let's say we found a place here in maybe the intro we want to put it. And maybe let's put it right after this. It's going to paste that in. It says on average, roofing companies have been in business for 8 to 10 years. Newer companies carry more risks. So do your research. And now I need to add a footnote in. So I can do this in my WordPress blog, anything like that. I can also do it here as a footnote real easily, just so I can find it later. And there we go. There it is. So now I've done that. Now, when you do this in your blog post, the really cool thing about this is Google is going to see that when it indexes. And if it sees you're doing cross-referencing, it's kind of like your teachers back in high school. They love it. And what do they do when they love it? They help your grades out. In other words, you're going to do better. So the same thing, just like with our teachers, when we put those footnotes in, we scored better, we got better grades. Google's going to give us a better grade as well. So super simple. So, guys, I really appreciate you joining me today and spending some time. I appreciate the questions that have come through. Those are great. I hope this has been insightful to teach you, one, the importance of topical authority, why you as a business owner want to be seen as the local go-to expert. Or I shouldn't say local, but just the go-to expert. You may be working nationally like I do, but you want to be seen as the go-to expert in your niche. I want, hopefully you now understand how you can go to Google and you can go to sites like the public, or I answer the public, sorry, I forgot that.com, and you can find out the questions that your audience is already asking about your products and services. And then you can go create content to answer them. Because as you do this on a repeated basis, guess what? You will become the expert that Google refers people to. And now you're going to have people reaching out and contacting you, and they're going to be going, wow, this is great. I need a roofing company, and I've been reading about you everywhere I'm at. You keep coming up. I see your tips. I see this. I see your content. I see your social media, and your business is going to grow. So to summarize, pick your topic. Go to Google and people, not people also ask, I'm sorry, answerthepublic.com. I'll get that right here before we're done. So go to Google and go to Answer the Public and pick for yourself the top 10 questions that you want to answer, that you're comfortable answering about that topic that you've picked. Then go and create a blog post for each one. Use ChatGPT, use Claude, use Bard, doesn't matter. Follow the prompts that I did here. You can go ahead and grab those right out of the video. And then once that blog post is done, post it on your website. Then go back and have it write a script for you for a video. Then I want you to grab your phone and I want you to record that video. Do not worry about fancy equipment. Do not worry about anything else. Just grab your phone, press record, and record that video. By the way, if you put that text on a teleprompter, it's super easy, and there's free teleprompter apps, including one called Big View. It's big.vu. You can go ahead and download that, and you can paste it in, and you can read right off your phone and record that. And then last, I want you to have the AI tools to create 3 social media posts on that article that you can share. Why 3? Because why not? We could do 5, we could do more. Don't do any less though. And now you've got posts that you can put out each day or multiple times a day, driving people back to that article. And again, we're going to put a link. And as you do this repeatedly, and now at the end of the month, hopefully you've written 15 or more blog posts, hopefully you've recorded 30 or more videos, and you've put out about 90 social media posts. So yes, 1 blog a day, 1 video a day, and 3 social media posts every day. You do that on a consistent basis, and I promise you, if you do this for a year, and by the way, I started because Gary Vaynerchuk, if you know him, made that promise to me. And he said, if you do this for a year, you will have more business than you know what to do with. Now, I certainly know what I could do with more business, but he was right. As I've got people reaching out to me literally every single week, asking how they can work with me. People that I don't know, people that I'm not reaching out to. And that, my friends, is the value of topical authority. So I challenge you, go today. Don't start tomorrow, because tomorrow will never come. Go today. Take 10 minutes and pick your topic. Go to Google and go to answerthepublic.com. Got it right that time. And find your topics. And before you go to bed tonight, write 1 blog post, write 1 video script, and write 3 social media. You can have your first one done today. Don't wait. Don't put it off. I did that, guys. For 4 years, I put it off. And you know my biggest regret? That means I'm 4 years behind. My grandfather used to tell me that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Why? Because it takes 20 years for many trees to grow. But you know when the second best time to plant a tree is? Today. Because I can start today. It's the same with topical authority. The best time to start was a year or 2 years ago. And if you did, kudos to you. You can probably attest to everything I'm saying. But if you didn't, don't worry about it. The next best time to start, it's today. It's right now. I challenge you. Let me know in the comments if you'll take me up on my challenge. Will you pick a topic? Will you pick a question? And will you do 1 blog post and a video and 3 social media posts before the midnight tonight? You can do it. Hey, thanks for joining me, everybody. I'm so thankful for everybody here. We'll be back next week, Wednesday again. If you can't join us live, feel free to message me with questions during the week, and I'll answer them on this call. This is all in response to a question I got this week. So thank you so much for that. Have a great day, everybody. God bless. Bye-bye.